I've taken 15 cruises with Carnival Cruise Line, and last fall, I swore off from cruising with them altogether over a truly shocking experience that I had on their ship, the Freedom. And believe it or not, I never set foot on a Carnival ship again until very recently. So has anything changed with Carnival Cruise Line, and will I keep sailing on the fun ships? Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey. I've been thinking a lot lately about a cruise experience I had on board Carnival Freedom last fall. I took a 4-night short cruise out of Port Canaveral with Carnival, and the shocking things I saw on board that ship ended up generating one of the largest, most viewed YouTube videos to date for my channel. And I gotta tell you, that cruise has been living rent-free in my head for over a year now. A quick recap of what went down on board that sailing. I saw parents encouraging their children to throw putt-putt golf balls overboard from the ship. I saw people sneeze directly into their hands, and then at the buffet reach out and squeeze to test all of the fruits to see which one they wanted to eat. I saw intoxication to the point where an establishment would lose their liquor license for over-serving, and just an overall lack of respect and basic dignity amongst the passengers on board that ship. No one seemingly knew how to behave in a public atmosphere. Around the thousands of other people were acting a fool, carrying on twice as loud as you should be, running down the hallways in the middle of the night with their Bluetooth speakers turned up to 11 every single night of this cruise, yelling outside my door, hollering, having a party in the hallways. Security was not doing anything. They weren't stopping it despite some complaints that I lodged and I know other people did. They did nothing to encourage people to act reasonably and respectfully of their fellow cruise passengers, to the point where in that video I made last year, I called it cultural decay. And after that experience, I went home and look, I'm platinum with Carnival Cruise Line. I've taken a lot of cruises with these folks, and I've most certainly had great experiences. But throughout 2023, especially, the brand was declining, in my opinion, in the service quality they were giving, the food quality they were giving, and especially the way people on board the fun ships were acting. And while you can't blame Carnival for the actions of an individual on their ships, you also can blame Carnival for not stepping in when individuals are acting disrespectfully of other cruise passengers. And throughout 2023, I saw this cruise line care less and less about calming down bad behavior. As a matter of fact, the only thing I saw them care more about in 2023 was stopping people from bringing marijuana on board their ships. So, after returning home from that cruise, normally what I would do is go on Carnival's website and book my next sailing. But honestly, I was just so exhausted from that experience, so tired of the crap that went down on that ship. There was no way I was even considering working on board another ship to get content, to review the experience, or to gain any knowledge about the cruise industry or insights that I could share with you. I simply came home with the feeling that you couldn't pay me enough to have that experience again. 4 sleepless nights surrounded by constant noise and disrespect. So I looked elsewhere to fill my cruise needs. Where did I look for cruises? Well, on other cruise lines' websites like Royal Caribbean, MSC, and even Norwegian Cruise Line. Even though y'all know Norwegian and I don't have a great relationship, that tells you how bad of an experience the Carnival Freedom was for me. I'm gonna let you in on some inside baseball here for kind of how the YouTube cruise creator business works. We all do it differently, but at the end of the day, our goal is to give you entertaining, educational, and fun content that you want to keep coming back to watch. And part of my plan in 2024 was to start working my way through cruise ports that I had not cruised from previously. And one of those ports was the port of Tampa Bay. It just so happens to be, well, a very convenient drive for me. It's a small port with smaller, older ships, and there's not a huge amount of content about those ships on YouTube. So it's a good niche to get into to share information with you that you might want to know about. So I started looking, and my first cruise out of Tampa was with Margaritaville on their new ship, the Islander. I had a great time. It was an old Carnival ship. I knew my way around without even getting on board. Then I booked a Royal Caribbean cruise out of that port. That cruise doesn't depart until next year. So in the meantime, I went shopping for another cruise out of Tampa, just to experience all the ships that that port has to offer. And I settled on a cruise that fit my budget and schedule, but it didn't fit my desire. That cruise was once again on a Carnival ship named the Paradise. And immediately when I saw the price of this cruise, I saw the itinerary, I ran back to my previous Carnival cruise video that I had made about a year ago on the Freedom, and I watched it to remind myself why I hadn't cruised with Carnival for a year, to remind myself why I shouldn't be spending the money to go on the Paradise. But something in the back of my mind kept saying, look, you owe it to your audience to show them what a lot of them probably found your channel because of, and that is affordable cruises that are attainable for most people on the most popular cruise lines. So I swallowed my pride and paid the $200 and booked the Carnival Paradise out of Tampa. And the review video for that cruise has been up for a month. So if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, the cruise was really solid. I didn't have any of the problems that I saw on the Freedom, which leaves me in a bit of a pickle here. You see, because I earn a living sharing my experience on board cruise ships with you and talking about cruises and everything going on in the industry. But now, as a result of this recent cruise, my eyes have been open to the fact that just because you see someone's review of a cruise online doesn't mean that your experience will be exactly the same. Did I have a bad cruise because of the ship and the crew, or was it because of the passengers who were booked on that cruise along with me? It's a question that I need to ask myself, and it's something that I'm having a hard time figuring out why, because I could make a convincing argument either way here. So maybe you can help me by making some of your arguments in the comment section to point me in the right direction here. We're all in this to learn together. So am I still swearing off of Carnival Cruise Line? The answer is I've had too many good experiences with Carnival and only one really bad one to let it rob me of a future of good times on the fun ships. Also, I know a lot of you came here because of your love of Carnival, and I want to respect that, the reason why you're here. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of people out there who have experienced similar situations to me, who are now just Carnival haters, who come here to watch me and remind me why they'll never cruise with the fun ships again and tell me about their bad experiences. And I'm sorry that that happened to you and that you feel that way. Perhaps you had a bad experience like I did. It's okay to decide to not give Carnival your money again, but maybe if you went back and tried it again, things could have improved over what you experienced last time as well. And I plan to learn from this experience and try to give another shot to my least favorite cruise line in the new year, Norwegian. And if you're just there wondering what the heck video am I talking about? What bad experience did I have on Carnival that everybody watched except for you? Well, your time on the Midships is not over yet, because I'd like to invite you to watch this video from when I was a little bit younger and a little bit chubbier sailing on the Carnival Freedom. We'll see you there.